Hey, hi everybody, I am ARMar. Once again, there's my friend Heather, and this is the third of our movies for Batman Day. What did we watch now? What was our first viewing for today?
Batman Return of the Joker!
Yep, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker.
It's just, ah!
I love this movie. I mean, Heather loves it because it's the Joker. I love it because I freaking love Batman Beyond.
And I feel bad because Batman Beyond wasn't something I really got into as a kid. I think it was because it was like old grumpy Bruce and I was like, no, I like my Batman. So it was a little weird for me, but I warmed up to it. It's also because I've seen other alternate futures and I like those ones, so suddenly seeing this one that kind of contradicts all other future ones, I'm like, oh. And I just didn't get into it until, honestly, till this movie, and then till someone pointed out some other fun things, so then I started watching it with a friend of mine, so I warmed up to it.
I've always loved Terry partly because, like, I discovered this series back in high school, which I think is when it was roughly airing, and Terry was kind of that, like, teen. He was a teen, he was relatable to me, and he was very, like, flawed. He wasn't perfect. And
yeah, and that's a nice thing they did with this, is because, yeah, he wasn't, like, the sidekick growing into a hero. He was very much, he kind of reminds me of Jason. Again, not very much, but just a little bit, where he's this troubled kid who pushes himself. Like, as much as Bruce pushes him, I definitely see that Terry pushes himself more in this series.
He even says outright in this movie, he thinks that Batman makes him worthwhile.
Yeah.
And, like, it's, I mean, Bruce later says it's the other way around, but it kind of informs, like, what kind of person Terry is.
Mm-hmm.
He's this kid who was a bit of a punk before, and now he's trying to make it right. He's trying to make up for his mistakes. He carries around the Spider-Man style guilt of his dad dying.
Yeah, and that's another thing that makes Terry kind of a neat one, is because of the, Bruce never really replaces his dad, but he very much is a pseudo father figure for him. Now, I don't know the full story. Is there something? Someone said there was a genetic thing where Terry might be a clone of Bruce, or genetic
sort of. It's revealed.
Child
It's revealed around the end of Justice League Unlimited that Amanda Waller took Cadmus nanotech and rewrote Terry's dad's reproductive material to be an exact copy of Bruce's. So
weird.
He's sort of the son of he's sort of Bruce's son with his mother,
which is weird. But like I said, he doesn't feel really like Bruce, and he doesn't seem to take on a whole lot of Bruce being his father. Like you said, it's a pseudo-father figure and very much a mentor figure, but he still very much loves his own family, and so that's kind of a nice thing, because as much as you...
Yeah, there's a cute scene in this movie with his little brother. Getting back onto what actually happened in the movie, the Joker gang in this is really fun. I mean, they only show up in this and an episode of Justice League Unlimited.
2 episodes, I think. It's part 1 and part 2.
Oh, yeah, 2 episodes, technically. I when it's a two-parter, I almost always think of it as just one.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I was a little sad because I didn't know much about the Batman Beyond series, so I thought they were in more of it, and no, they're not. I'm like, but I like these ones. I like
my favorite are the DDs.
Yeah.
Especially because at the end of this movie, you find out they're Harley Quinn's granddaughters.
And it's like, so perfect.
And it brings up the debate. Do they know who Harley was?
Right? Because they
call her Nana Harl.
Mm-hmm. But because they don't really get more introduction, because they're only in these couple things, you really don't get that fleshed out. You don't know if they know her backstory, if it's just coincidence. Like, it's like, I want to know.
Yeah, like, I mean, if they did, given the way that most Jokers in the Batman Beyond universe worship the Joker, they'd probably be all over her, but...
Right?
Yeah, it's a fun little Easter egg for the end of the movie, and it was a great little reveal. The flashback scene where we find out what Joker did to Tim was just, oh man, that...
Like I said,
that made me wince.
Yeah, I love the Batman the Animated Series because they fought for whatever dark and grit they could get, and then this movie is just like, they went there.
Because it was a movie and they were I'm sure they had to jump through all sorts of hoops, being like, oh no, we won't show it at this time, and we'll edit this part and blah blah for the TV and whatnot.
Because there is 2 versions. There's this and the uncut version, right?
I think this was the uncut version.
Okay, so we did watch the uncut version.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they basically had to have 2 versions because they did. They pushed the envelope with this, and I love it. I'm biased. I love Mark Hamill.
Tim killing the Joker, and then later turning out to, like, Joker implanted himself
Spoilers.
in Tim. Like, yeah. We already got into spoilers way back.
God. And that was just so good because, they do a really good job with the red herring of what's that other dude?
Price.
Yeah. They set up Price to be, Joker or to be working with Joker, and then even when they get to Tim being involved, they say, working for Joker. It isn't until the final fight that you see that Joker took him over. It's so cool how they set that up, because you're literally going, how is Joker still alive? Did he really kill him? Does the Joker ever die? Like, you love that about
There's
Joker.
a funny scene where Terry goes over what are basically the Marvel methods for bringing back an old villain. Frozen in ice? Lost in time? It's a clone?
And I love it, because these are used so many times, and just because Joker's one of Batman's villains where he almost always had these moments where he should be dead. You thought he was dead, and then he's not.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, anytime you don't find Joker's body, it's like, damn, no, he's alive.
It's almost sad that he killed Bunk so early.
Yeah, I was
but
like...
It did kind of add menace to his reveal scene when we first see Joker in the movie.
Ugh.
He kills one of his henchmen, starts laughing about it, and like basically forces the entire gang to laugh with him.
Yeah, and again, you get these moments with him where he treats the deities, which again, they kind of treat themselves as a unison thing, but the way he calls them singular is kind of like...
Yeah, and there's a lot of times where the deities are the closest standing to him, or they do give off that Harley vibe, and it seems like, and there's kind of that question where I wonder if Joker actually knew that, or like something, because he does seem to favor them over the rest of the gang in what little we get to see.
Yeah, and because he does say, like, the one time he refers to them as plurals, he says girls and the guys, and as much as he's, talking to them all, yeah, he definitely seems to favor the deities. And Wolf. Well, but that may have just been two scenes. I love Wolf.
I love him. He's hilarious. The dance club scene was one of my favorites, with the fight in the dance club, partly because they separate Terry from Dana. The deities are like these two hot, blonde girls grinding on Terry. He immediately pushes them away and goes after Dana. Like, this is a good scene for showing the Terry's character.
And again, like you were talking about in the series, how he has on and off relationship with Dana just because of the rocks of him having a dual life. So it's really nice to see, that they've gotten to that point in their relationship, and it's really nice.
Definitely.
Anyway, like I said, I don't know much about the series, but I love this movie, and it definitely helped me warm up to the series, and I do like the episodes I have seen. I can't remember the names, but I've seen a couple episodes now, and it's...
there's one part we commented on with Ace. We love Ace. He's adorable. There's one part where the Joker is firing a space laser at Terry, and Ace is barking his head off, and Terry says, like, the absolute best thing there.
Yeah.
It's like, I know.
It's not that shut up.
It's a funny scene, and it actually goes towards like how dogs like that are supposed to be trained.
Exactly.
You don't tell them to shut up when they're barking about danger. You say, "I know," and then most of the time they'll go quiet because they're just trying. Like the main reason for the bark was to warn you.
Yeah, they've been trained to alert you. So saying "shut up" kind of goes against their training, so it kind of confuses the dog. So this was really nice to hear I know. He's saying to the dog, yes, I confirm your danger.
Well, and the cute moments where Terry he sicked him on Wolf and then used him later, and it's like, okay, that is kind of cool.
And from like, some of the other episodes, some of the other episodes I've seen, Terry seemed to have this kind of weird relationship with the dog because he's like Bruce's dog, but Terry still wants to like him.
Yeah.
So,
but still, loved Ace. Loved just about everything about this film.
Like, it's just really good, and again, that final fight is so good because it shows why Joker and Batman were such, like, long-standing rivals, because Terry points out...
Terry is so different from Bruce.
Yeah, Terry points out, Batman never laughed at Joker, Batman never talked to Joker, and that's why Joker kept going after him, because it was someone for him to talk at, and not have to interrupt him, not have to laugh at him, because as much as Joker wants to be the funny guy, he hates it when people laugh at him like... oh, haha, that was bad. He hates that.
He hates being interrupted. He wants to get his whole act out.
Yeah.
You can laugh when he is done talking.
So to have Terry interrupt him and kind of do his own jokes that belittle Joker just loses it.
Like, that was a great scene, and it showed, again, like, how Terry is in it. He's a different kind of Batman, but he's effective in his own way.
Yeah, and again, that's a good point for Terry, because again, this movie, he says it a lot, and I'm pretty sure in the series, he kind of points out, I'm not you, Bruce. I'm my own Batman. And it's kind of weird for him to build up there, because again, Bruce, even with all his sidekicks, there's always been Bruce's Batman, and it's always been kind of the standard held to. Even in the comics, when, like, Nightwing takes over as Batman, he is still kind of held to that standard. And Terry's kind of going, no, I'm not holding myself to that. I'm my own Batman.
Exactly. And
so I'm
pretty sure I already said it, but that last scene where, like, Terry, like, after Terry earlier in the movie said, Batman makes him worthwhile, Bruce looks him in the eye at the end and is like, no, you make Batman worthwhile.
Yeah, because Terry
That's
figured
so
it out.
powerful. Like,
It is, because it's got a lot of meaning, and again, it's because Terry figured out how to best Joker, something Batman had never been able to do.
it's not just that. It's also like Bruce kind of say. It's like, no, Terry, you're not. Whatever you think of yourself, you're not this punk kid anymore. You're a good kid.
Yeah, you're a good person. It's just
You've made well. Anyone else as Batman would not have the same moral fiber. It's not the cape or the cowl that makes the man. It is the man inside the suit.
yeah. So it is. Yeah, it's very cool to hear that from Bruce. And again, you see, especially because what little I know of the series, Bruce always had this kind of like, "Grr, do it my way" for Terry, and so he was often telling Terry, "You could have done better." And so it's nice to see that in this movie that he goes, "No, Terry, you are what Batman is meant to be," and it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're not talking about a lot of the specifics of the plot, but honestly, this movie has so much going on for it that really it's the moments strung together that are more important in the end.
And it's really one of those movies where, it's when you hear Joker's laugh, or when you hear Joker switch between the two voices of Tim and Joker, at the same time you're like, fuck.
Mark Hamill is amazing in this. I love him.
And it's like some of his lines, he gets like the whole, I would laugh if it weren't so pathetic, and then he just goes, ha, I'll laugh anyway, and he does the laugh. And
it's
so just
good.
So many good parts where as much as we can tell you about it, it's watching this movie is so good because if you're a fan of the animated series Batman, you're gonna love it. If you're a fan of Batman Beyond, you're gonna love it. If you're just a fan of Creepy, you're gonna love it because just some of those Joker moments, you're like
Heather was saying, she wasn't into Batman Beyond before, but this movie is part of what helped her get into it, giving that connection to the old series and like basically showing her what the essence of Batman Beyond was.
Yeah, and then like I said, I'm not gonna lie, some of the episodes that I was introduced to after that where you met Barbara, where we found out that she's commissioner, and I'm like, dang, that's awesome. She took over her dad's, and just things like that, and finding out about other old people, like other people in it. So it was, like I said, little things that warmed me up to it. So good.
Well, I think that's about all we have to say about this one. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.